What if I told you the games in Alice in Borderland were never meant to test survival, but to expose who you truly are when the mask of society is ripped away? Why does every single challenge feel like a mirror reflecting our darkest fears? And here's the real kicker, some of these games aren't just entertainment. They're designed to make you fail. Think about it. Why would a game demand impossible sacrifices unless the real purpose was to force betrayal, break alliances, and reveal the raw, selfish core of humanity? Scary thought, right? But let me warn you. Once you realize the forbidden secrets behind these games, you can't unsee them. And that's exactly what I'm going to break down today. Every single game explained, but not just explained. I'll reveal the hidden mechanics, the psychological traps, and the sinister truths the show wants you to miss. But before we dive in, I need you to do one thing, because you don't want to be left behind when the next round begins. Hit that subscribe button right now, or risk missing the very strategies that could one day save you. Okay, you're still here. Then let's enter the Borderland. Game 1. The numbers of death. The first game looks deceptively simple. Stand on tiles with numbers flashing in random sequence. But here's the forbidden truth. The board isn't random at all. It's rigged to trigger panic. The designers don't care whether you're smart, they care whether you hesitate. Every number forces you to calculate under pressure. Too slow, you're eliminated. Too confident, you fall into a hidden trap. The real purpose of this game is not mathematics, it's hesitation. And hesitation in the Borderland is death. What's chilling is how the players start blaming each other. Why did you move there? Why didn't you warn me? Suddenly, it's not about tiles, it's about trust. The game becomes a battlefield of suspicion. And here's my theory, this opening test isn't about winning. It's about dividing alliances before the real games begin. So ask yourself, would you freeze, or would you sacrifice someone else just to keep moving? The glass corridor. You've seen versions of this before in other survival shows, but Alice in Borderland takes it to a cruel new level. A bridge of glass panels, some solid, some fragile. Choose wrong, and you plummet. Sounds like pure chance, right? Wrong. Here's the forbidden knowledge. The corridor isn't built to test luck. It's built to measure leadership. Who goes first? Who takes the risk? And who hides behind the bravery of others? It's a human experiment disguised as a game. Watch closely and you'll notice. The designers always ensure just enough survivors make it across, but not before players expose their cowardice, selfishness, or desperation. That's the real prize. The corridor strips away masks. And it asks one question: would you die for the group? Or would you live with their blood on your hands? And here's my personal take. If I were in that corridor, I'd probably freeze halfway, legs shaking, waiting for someone braver to take the next step. But isn't that the exact human weakness the game exploits? Game 3. Ricard of Lees. At first glance, it feels almost harmless compared to shattered glass and collapsing tiles. Each player receives a card, some truth, some lies. The group must vote who holds death card. Simple, except it's not. This is psychological warfare. You're not playing against the system. You're playing against your friends. And here's the sinister trick: the Borderland thrives on paranoia. Once the accusation starts, it doesn't stop. The person who argues too much looks guilty. The one who stays quiet looks guilty. It's a no-win situation. Now here's the forbidden layer nobody notices. This game doesn't measure deception. It measures desperation. Who will beg? Who will betray? Who will sacrifice themselves to protect someone else? And let's not forget, lies are addictive. Even after the game ends, the players carry that mistrust into the next round. The real damage isn't who dies here. It's how the survivors can never fully trust each other again. If you think about it, isn't that the cruelest punishment of all? Winning, but never believing your allies again. So already, in just 3 games, we see the same terrifying pattern. The first punishes hesitation. The second punishes leadership. The third punishes trust itself. See the loop. Every game strips away another layer of humanity, until nothing is left but raw survival instinct. And if that's only the beginning, imagine what the Borderland has waiting deeper inside. But here's the real nightmare. What if these games aren't random at all? What if every single trap is custom designed, not to test you, but to break you? We'll get into that theory when we uncover the next round of games. Tease into next section, and trust me, you haven't even seen the darkest ones yet. The next 3 games are where the Borderland stops being about strategy and starts being about your soul. So buckle up. Because what comes next is not a game you'd want to play. We've already seen how hesitation, leadership, and trust are ripped apart in the first 3 games. But now the Borderland begins tightening the noose. These next 3 challenges aren't just games. They are traps designed to bend your morality, destroy your logic, and make you question whether survival is even worth it. So here's the question for you. Would you rather die quickly or slowly lose your humanity piece by piece? Think carefully, because games 4 to 6 force you to answer that in ways you'd never expect. Game 40. The Silent Hunt. Imagine being thrown into a vast, dark forest where shadows aren't just shadows, they're predators. The rules are simple: stay silent, stay hidden, make a sound, and the game notices you. But here's the forbidden twist: the silence is never perfect. Someone always panics. A branch snaps, a breath comes out too loud, a scream breaks through when the tension is unbearable. And the moment one player is exposed, the predators descend. Now here's the psychological dagger: the game forces you to resent weakness. If someone near you coughs, your survival instinct screams, shut them up before they get you killed. It's no longer about teamwork. It's about suppressing humanity to survive. What's terrifying is how this echoes real life. Isn't it true that in crisis, people quickly turn on the weak? The silent hunt isn't just about hiding. It's about proving whether mercy exists when mercy could mean death. And honestly, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. My nerves. Too shaky. I'd sneeze and get wiped instantly. But maybe that's the point. The game exposes the fragility we all pretend we don't have. So let me ask you, would you risk your life to protect someone noisy? Or would you push them away to save yourself? Drop your choice in the comments. I want to see how many of you think you'd survive this one. Game 50. The Mirror Maze. This one is psychological torture disguised as beauty. A maze of endless mirrors, each reflection showing not just your face, but twisted, distorted versions of you. The rule seems simple. Find the exit before time runs out. But the forbidden knowledge here is that the maze isn't infinite. It's designed to loop. Every turn is calculated to make you doubt your memory. Was this path the same as before? Or are the mirrors showing you lies? But the cruelest trick. The reflections start moving differently. They hesitate when you don't. They smile when you panic. The maze isn't trapping your body, it's breaking your mind. This game isn't about escaping. It's about making you question whether you can trust your own senses. And here's the deeper metaphor. In the Borderland, your biggest enemy isn't the game. It's yourself. And here's where I'll admit something embarrassing. If I saw my reflection smirking back at me while I was terrified, I'd probably lose it. I'd punch the glass, cut my hand open, and then spend the rest of the game bleeding out while my reflection laughed at me. That's how the maze works. It uses your own emotions as the weapon. And if you think that sounds like hell, just wait. Because